Coping with cancer, I guess, is the same for everybody. It's very, very hard, it's stressful. You never know what to expect. And so you just have to get on with it, you know?
Well, it's one of those things that you do because that's your spouse and that's what you're called to do, so you do what you can at that particular time. I don't think you can be prepared for something coming into your life that's unexpected. You just cope and do your best that you can at that particular time.
I guess you're always thinking, you know, what would you do if the tables were reversed? What would you like your partner to do for you? So that helped me a lot, thinking about it. And instead of saying, because I was always the social convener, so instead of telling Michael, this is what we're doing, or we've been asked to do this, I said, would you like to do this, or would you like to do this? And I found that he is more selective in what he does. He doesn't want to waste time doing incidentals. Like, he really wants to do more valuable things.
No, I wasn't prepared for the whole upheaval, but you take one day at a time. That's all you can do with anything.
In the sense that his health was changing was the fact that he probably ate better, exercised more, drank less coffee. He paid more attention to the diets that were suggested.
Michael's eating habits really changed, and he wanted to change them. I had a little bit of influence in what he did, but I would say it came more from him. He was more aware, he was reading packages. He wasn't really a great shopper beforehand, but anytime he went out, he would always read the labels and see if this was a good product or a bad product, because through him attending prostate cancer meetings, they've had exposure to intake, food intake, and what's good and what's bad, and what you can do for yourself to improve your health. And I think he's really gone on a real binge with this, you know, and he's getting books and looking at cookbooks, etc. That's not good. I don't want it, you know. So I think that he's really educated himself, and he's educating me as well, and our adult children.
The quality of life, yes, it did change because we were able to spend more time together. We did more biking, we did more things together, and we communicated better.
Things aren't as bad as they can be better, and they will be better. And that's what you have to look to the future, and hope that it will, you know, that things will be better. We had our low periods of time. I can't say it was all, you know, wonderful, ha-ha, but we were confident that we had the best doctors, and we had their word that things were pretty good. So that made us feel better.
I think when you come close to what you could consider a death on one person's part, that it really makes you think more about the person, that you don't take so much for granted. It makes you sit up and say, you know, it could have been worse. He was very lucky to survive it, as I'm very lucky to have him, you know. So I think from that aspect, we were very, very fortunate.
I'm just very grateful he's around, and it wasn't worse than it was.
The outlook on our life, we've always looked at the fact that we try and treasure each day and do the best with each day as we can. So going through the cancer, it makes you even more aware that each day is special because you don't know what tomorrow will bring.
He appreciated the care that I gave him before and after surgery. And I think, you know, you take things for granted, but when something like this sort of hits you, like you're walking into a wall, and you stop and say, hey, it's not going to last forever. And I better appreciate things that are here now, the here and now, rather than waiting for the future. I think that does change your outlook on your life when you've had a scare like this. Have an optimistic outlook. I think your outlook is what will really guide you through. Gratefulness, and not that we're religious people, because we aren't, but I think that gratitude for what you do have and appreciation is what will carry you through.
I think my spouse relied on me because there are different things that he wouldn't have been able to do without my help and encouragement, because a number of men would, you know, crawl in the shell and say, well, you know, life is over. Well, life isn't always over just because you had prostate cancer. There's other aspects of it. We'd like the caregivers to be able to know that with their support, that their partner can become the man that he was before, and that they accept him no matter how the outcome of it. And it's something that affects both of them, so they need to really communicate.
Caregivers, it's a tough life, really. You have to be there for your husband all the time and the family.
Okay, the caregiver, as far as the things in their life, they need to be a little more positive, and in their daily life just to go on and do the things that they would normally do, and not let the anxiousness or the grieving part of things overwhelm them. They need to be on top of it and know that one day at a time they'll take care of things.
I'm a very active person. I belong to different groups. I do quilting, and I belong to retired teachers. We have luncheons once a month, and a group of us played bridge. So I had outlets. We do a lot together. We're a couple that we're always on the go. We're always doing things together. We have a big circle of friends from different walks of our parts of our life, and we see a lot of our friends, entertain them, and I don't think there was any change that way at all.
But I've got some very good friends, and I guess I bent their ear quite a few times, so they were there for me. And one of my close girlfriends had had a brush with cancer, so she was very supportive. I asked her a lot of questions, and she always bent her ear and asked her various things, So I think that's good to have that sort of a person that basically, she obviously didn't have prostate cancer, but she had ovarian cancer, and she was very supportive, and she helped me a lot.
For me personally, girlfriends were very important to me, because you could talk to them about what's going on and just know that somebody else was hearing it. Not that they were going to be able to help you, but they were there to listen. And I think that's important.
I guess that's the thing that really I haven't, because I haven't had any me time. All the exercise or groups that I wanted to join were always on the same night as the prostate group. And I would always go to that with him. Now he would turn around and say, no, you go to whatever you want to. But we cut back on the cars, just have one car now, so it's a little bit difficult for me to go one way and him the other. So no, I've sort of basically been there for him.
For myself, as I was coping separately from him, I would say read the Bible more, I'd meditate more, I'd do a lot of walking. But I've always ate healthy, and because it's important, if you're not healthy, you aren't going to be able to cope with what could happen. And the unknown is always a bit scary.
And don't let yourself get down. I mean, have your hair done, go out and have your nails done just to feel good about yourself. Because much as your husband's going through it, you're also going through it too, and you have to give yourself a little lift sometimes. Talk about nails, but anyways, I haven't had them done in weeks, but it's important. I think it's important to look after yourself to an extent. Maybe give yourself a treat once in a while so that you'll come back feeling better and you can help him pull him up a bit.
I took care of myself by keeping up my connection with my friends, and I think that's a good outlet for a woman to keep it's very important to have those female friends that you can even just chat to on the phone, and not necessarily about your husband's illness or what he's going through, but just someone to talk to and laugh with.
Our friends and family, we really rallied around us, and it's very important to know that people care. And we find too that if we found someone, if we heard that someone is really sick, we really make an extra effort to call them, to see them, to whatever, because we know how important it is to have people around you. I think love and support, and it sounds corny, but it's true.
We've made lasting connections with the people at Man to Man, Prostate Cancer Canada. There are 3 or 4 couples that we feel very close to. Not that we see them socially, but we see them at the meetings, and we went to the conference a year ago that was here in Toronto, and Ron's going to be doing the Father's Day run for prostate cancer on Father's Day. So I think we've made some friends that we would have never met before, and they're lovely people.
I think the best support system is the prostate cancer group, because they have all the updated information, and different people have had such a wide variety of experiences, and they all get to share from one another, so that it's a good place to start with. By going to the prostate group, because they have different speakers, we found out a lot more about diets and homeopathic ways, and different doctors would come in and give different talks on different, some of it was too technical, couldn't understand it, but the diet part and the exercise part, those people that were specific in those areas were really very helpful.